inaishi Namanga. Wakati wa games tukikaa tu hapo na wanafunzi wenzangu tukicheza, nikaanza kusikia vizuri. Nikamweleza mama. Sasa mama akaniambia mbona ukusemanga? Nikamwambia niliogopa. Nikaenda Namanga hospital, nikapima, akaona ugonjwa niko nayo. Sasa akasema heri upelekwe Kajiado. Madaktari akakuja kunitibu. Akasema Manda, akaniambia utaenda kwa surgery. Walisema iko na growth. Nilienda kushughulikia hadi akaona akaenda kutafuta NHF, mama tu anakuanga nayo, lakini ugonjwa mwenye nilitibiwa hiyo kadi ilinisaidia sana. Hiyo kama tungekuwa nayo sijui tungetaka hapo lini. Ningependa kuambia serikali waendelee kutuletea hiyo kadi ya NHF kwa maana inatusaidia sana. Kila mtu ajitahidi na jikaze kisabuni ili waweze kudhibitisha na wapate hiyo NHF. Ndio waweze na mtu akigonjeka juu siku yako kugonjeka na wewe upate hiyo kadi, ndio ukipelekwa hospital uweze kutibiwa.
Linda familia na marafiki dhidi ya magonjwa.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. I trust you're having a lovely Tuesday so far. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up this afternoon. My name is Jackie Wambiru. And to kick us off, let's cross over to the political scene where former Water Cabinet Secretary Cecily Kariuki and Jubilee Leader of Majority in the National Assembly Amos Kemonye have continued to popularize the Jubilee Party ahead of the Sagana meeting and the party's national delegate conference slated for this week. The duo camped in Alderate constituency, where they rallied residents to support the Jubilee Party under the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Elsewhere, Council of Elders of Mumin Hassan of the larger Liahan community has endorsed Abdi Kher Abdullahi Dubo for the Dadaab parliamentary seat in Garissa County.
Efforts to revive the ruling Jubilee Party in its strongholds are on top gear ahead of Sagana 3 meeting tomorrow and the party's national delegates conference later in the week. Former Water Cabinet Secretary Cecily Kariuki and Jubilee Leader of Majority in the National Assembly Amos Kemonye were in Alderate to prepare their supporters of Jubilee's intention to join other political parties under the Azimio la Umoja outfit in the quest to form the next government after the August 9th polls.
Chama cha Jubilee kiko hai na team leader ambao ni party leader President Uhuru Kenyatta alizungumza wiki mbili zilizopita na akasema ya kwamba yale yalimekuwa yakizungumzwa ya kwamba chama kimefa ama kimekufa, amekuwa akifanya kazi. Hawezi kushindana na mambo ya kupiga siasa ambao ni ya mazungumzo, siasa ambao si ya maendeleo.
Tunaenda watu wa Mlima Kenya kupata direction kutoka kwa rais. Tutaenda National Delegates Conference ya chama cha Jubilee na tutafanya some resolutions ambayo watu wanaogopa, na tukishapita weekend hii itakuwa ni wakati wa watu waamue nani anataka kuwa Jubilee, nani anataka kuhama.
On his part, Kemonye took issue with a section of parliamentarians who want to sabotage the budget making process at the floor of the house.
Hakuna nafasi ya mtu yeyote ambaye anawania kiti kusema anataka kutengeneza hiyo bajeti iwe yake, sababu sasa tukifanya hivyo tutakuwa na bajeti kama 10. Kama kuna presidential candidates 10, basi itabidi tufanye bajeti 10. Tumefanya bajeti moja ikiwa ni transitional budget, na watu wauze sera zao huko nje, lakini kwa bunge watatumia nafasi ya bajeti ikiwa ndio ya kutafuta kura.
Yesho Kiwashira, Lunchtime News.
Still on the same, leaders allied to the Jubilee Party say the outfit has huge potential if it can reinvent itself ahead of party nominations. The leaders, who included Ndaragwa Member of Parliament Jeremiah Kioni and his Roysambu counterpart Waihenya Ndirangu, say the Deputy President should stop taking credit of the Jubilee government's development success, as he has already quit the party.
Accusing the Deputy President William Ruto for focusing on his presidential campaign at the expense of development, the leaders asked him not to take credit of any government project.
Laila hakuitisha sehemu yoyote ya serikali, alimpatia mkono wa baraka, akamwambia endelea kutumikia wa Kenya. Kwa sababu tunataka umoja wa Kenya. Hata kama tunashindana kisiasa, sio kusema ya kwamba baada ya uchaguzi tusije tukapata nafasi ya kuongea.
They said the Jubilee Party can still make an impact if it can repackage itself based on success.
Na kwamba wakati tunaenda NDC Ijumaa wiki hii, tunaenda kuunga mkono Rais Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta na kumpatia nguvu ya kutengeneza ile coalition, na naona itatusaidia. Jumamosi atuambie tunashikana na ODM ndani ya Azimio, tunaenda huko sisi wote.
The leaders claim they are aware of some quarters who want to scuttle the 2022-2023 budget. For Lunchtime News, I'm Zainab Said.
In other news, a Mombasa businessman has refuted claims that he has been secretly bankrolling a certain political party. The philanthropist, who has also been undertaking a weekly feeding program in Mombasa, claim allegations are just political rumors.
The philanthropist claims the corporate colors of his product is not in any way linked to a certain political party.
Hatuko kwa siasa yoyote. Mtu yoyote asijitokezee akasema ati Mombasa Cement ndio ana sponsor UDA, ODM, Azimio. Hayupo kokote. Kwa hivyo mtu yote ataamua sisi hatuna rights ya kumwambia njoo ODM ama Azimio ama UDA.
Imtiaz Sayan, who works for the philanthropist, says a decision to contest for a political seat is a democratic and constitutional right, and the company should not be linked to any political formation.
Naomba tusidanganyane ati tuko kwa UDA, ODM, Azimio. Sisi kazi yetu kusaidia mwananchi, kazi ya hospitali. Hatukagui umetoka UDA ama ODM ama Azimio. Kwa hivyo mnaweza kutuachia sisi tuendelee na hii nini yetu.
Jelis Aladi for Lunchtime News.
Police have intensified crackdown on unroadworthy vehicles along Mombasa Road. The move follows reports that 42 people have lost their lives along the road in the last 2 months alone.
The crackdown is in response to a number of accidents that have been reported along Mombasa Road since January this year. In an attempt to avert more road accidents, Athi River Sub-County Multi-Agency Security Team, in collaboration with National Transport and Safety Authorities, made an impromptu crackdown along the road.
Well, don't get concerned on this because the city is this.
Dozens of passengers were stranded as the vehicles they were traveling in were impounded and driven to Athi River Police Station. Machakos County Commissioner Rhoda Onyancha said 29 vehicles were unroadworthy, 38 vehicles had missing parts and equipment, 2 PSV vehicles had no valid licenses, and 4 vehicles were defective.
yale ambayo tunahakikisha ni kwamba tuna magari njiani, iwe ni magari madogo yale ambayo mtu anajiendeza kibinafsi, iwe ni matatu, buses, malori. Tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba ni magari ambayo yanastahili kuwa njiani na pia yanastahili kubeba abiria.
Onyancha said the numbers of fatalities in the last 1.5 months are alarming, urging motorists to adhere to traffic rules.
What we are appealing to motorists in general, especially those that are driving, if you are waking up in the morning and coming to our roads, ensure that you have all the papers that are required, and also ensure that your vehicle is serviced and it's supposed to be on the road. For those young people who are using motorcycles, we are asking them to be careful.
Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Lunchtime News.
And now, Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute has suspended 3 universities, University of Alderate, Egypton University and Kenya Methodist University from pursuing internship and training programs due to non-compliance. KNDI Chief Executive Officer David Okeyo confirmed the suspension during a press briefing that was held at the Institute's headquarters in Mlolongo, Machakos County.
In a bid to ensure professional training requirements are met and uplift the standards of nutrition service delivery, the Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute (KNDI) has suspended the University of Alderate, Egypton University and Kenya Methodist, citing non-compliance.
We have realized that some of the training institutions are not compliant with the training requirements, and so we have suspended the graduate from such institutions from posting due to the high risk that they may pose to the Kenyan public. Whenever we allow professionals to be licensed, they have to go through a mandatory internship programs if they're graduates, which is in the law for 1 year. And we have noted that universities are now using the new amendments within University Amendments 2017 Act, University Acts Amendment of 2017, to escape compliance.
KNDI CEO David Okeyo was speaking during a press briefing, noted that the mentioned universities will be required to get a certificate of accreditation for nutrition and dietetics program before their students are further admitted into professional programs.
Criteria for admission of graduate students into internship is that they must have graduated with a BSc in nutrition and dietetics and food science or food science and nutrition from a recognized university accredited under Section 5A of University Amendments Act of 2017, together with Section 6D of Cap 253B. As it stands today, the Commission for University Education has not demonstrated that the affected universities are compliant with program accreditation.
Students who have graduated from the institutions risk not being posted for internship nor licensed to practice as nutritionists and dietitians in Kenya.
The Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute has vowed to continue engaging and monitoring various institutions to ensure they fully comply in order to ensure quality internship and training. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Mlolongo, Machakos County, my name is Frederick Mwoki.
Now, still in the political arena, we cross over to Bomas of Kenya, where the Green Thinking Action Party has convened the inaugural National Delegates Convention, as well as the launch of campaigns for the 2022 elections. And now, let's listen in where Dr. Isaac Kalua, who is the party leader, is speaking.
And the prestigious position as the superintendent of State House grounds. As a gardener, he forever referred himself a shamba boy that has been raised up by God into a place of power. That, dear delegates, is what GTAP ideology aspires. We aspire to do that, And had my father done a shoddy job in the prison service because of the perception that that this was not worthy and it was not enough to serve the prisoners and the prison service, he would never have made it to be what he was in the country and provide government services to all indiscriminately. A kindness economy will be the fuel to providing servant leadership in Kenya and to Kenyans. Dear Kenyans, as we speak today, these GTAPs promise to you in pursuit of integrity or of service delivery. We shall groom, and I see this as an opportunity, and we're not fighting with everybody. We are not fighting with anyone. We are at peace with any political party. We are at peace with leaders of this country because we believe there is no leadership that is placed without God's power and authority. And therefore we are cognizant of this fact. We shall groom and develop competent leaders in this organization. We will provide decent choices for Kenyans across the country, be it MCAs, MPs, be it women leaders, be it senators and governors. We shall launch and execute, and this really excites me, a green scorecard to hold government accountable for every decision and every expenditure incurred on behalf of Kenyans and across all functions. We promise to promote access to affordable tools of justice. I am happy to know our people. It is founded on the principle that all Kenyans are able to produce, to be productive members in nation building when given the tools necessary to engage in economic functions. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends and colleagues, I have good news for Kenya today. Tunajenga green economy. Green economy is not just a fancy word being thrown around by the environmental bodies like UNEA. No. Whether you are a primary school dropout or bachelor's degree holder, whether you are a housewife in Baringo or a master's degree holder in Kwale, whether you are a border rider, as my friends here are many, whether you are, and I thank you for coming. These guys told me that they don't need to be paid to go anywhere, that they want to be there to do what they have to do. May God bless you guys. In whichever part of Kenya, you can be part of the green economy. We will work diligently, tirelessly, to ensure that the country's more than 12.2 million households can earn sustainable livelihoods. The work today is shifting gears away from traditional industrialization to a green industrial revolution. Kenya has a unique opportunity to play leadership role in this new world order. The world has entrusted our beloved nation with environmental stewardship by bestowing the headquarters of UNEA and the United Nations Habitat to our beloved city of Nairobi. GTAP seeks to remodel Nairobi and the country's cities as green cities with near zero carbon emission in the transport and energy sectors. We are already headed here and locally assemble motor vehicles and also electric borders. As a matter of fact, I drove in an electric car, showing that it is true that this can happen in this country. We must not be so showy. The intention of moving from one place to another needs to be very sustainable, appreciating that there is a lot of mess that we have messed in this country. As you are aware, I have vast experience, and glory to God, being in this industry and also serving to God's glory as the chair of Honda in Kenya. Local manufacture injects a lot of value into products and fetches optimal returns in the marketplace. The added value also expands the marketplace from local to global. When I was a child, again, I must keep mentioning my father. I miss him. If there's someone that I would have really wanted him to be here, is my father. And I thank God that my uncle is here. Please be upstanding. Bwana Samson Ikumu and...
Adjournment is allowed. 2. This matter shall proceed to full hearing on Tuesday, 8th March 2022 at 9 a.m. at the Commission Boardroom 6th floor Anniversary Towers. 3. That for purposes of preserving the sanctity of the hearing of this case on breach of the Electoral Code of Conduct, and so as to avoid prejudices to the fair determination of this case, the respondent, Honorable Sabina Chek, is directed either by self or through counsel to refrain from commenting on the case in public.
And I'm glad.
Well, those live pictures are from the Bomas of Kenya, where the Green Thinking Action Party has convened on the importance of early screening of prostate, and it's a lot of more details the subsequent bulletins for men who are involved. Early Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has adjourned the hearing of Murang'a women representative Sabina Chege's case involving her voter rigging remarks to March 8th, 2022. IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati said the Commission's Electoral Code of Conduct enforcement.
The prostate is a problem to men because it enlarges for a long time, and it may actually stop the urine from coming out, and that causes a lot of problems.
He has called upon the men to be more keen on their health and seek medical attention whenever they notice any changes within their prostate glands.
We want men to be treated early when they have these problems, particularly cancer, which also kills. And it can be done by having an annual examination, either of the body or the blood is taken, and we can detect PSAs, which is prostate specific antigen.
Na mimi ni mmoja wa wale wamekuwa na ugonjwa wa kansa ya prostate, lakini nilitibiwa na ikaisha. Kuwa nikienda kwa medical check-up kila mwaka, na ndio hiyo yangu ilipatikana mapema na ikawa inaweza kuponyeshwa.
Dr. John Mukundi, the CEC Health in Embu County, further urged people to have regular checkups, adding that many people were not aware that regular screening and early detection can save life. Mukundi noting that many Kenyans go to hospital when it's too late.
We are urging the members of the public to be going for screening so that they can be able to detect it when it is maybe at stage 1, so that we do not get to detect it at stage 4 when it becomes disastrous.
Dr. Mukundi noted that the awareness campaign was a good initiative that complements the work of the health department that has
hearing of this case on breach of the Electoral Code of Conduct, and so to avoid prejudices to the fair determination of this case, the respondent, Honorable Sabina Chek, is directed either by self or through counsel to refrain from commenting on the case in public.
And now in matters held, a group of men who are prostate cancer survivors from the Anglican Church in Embu County have embarked on awareness creation on the importance of early screening of prostate cancer that affects the men's reproductive system. The men, who are in their early 70s, shared their experiences with prostate cancer and urged men to go for regular medical checkups.
Dr. Justus Njage, a gynecologist helping the group of men advance their awareness on prostate cancer in the area, observed that men over 40 are the most vulnerable.
Msaada kwake. Nimekataa hakuna
for a long time, and it may actually stop a urine from coming out, and that causes a lot of problems.
He has called upon the men to be more keen on their health and seek medical attention whenever they notice any changes within their prostate gland.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
You're here because you're jealous.
Stop it. That's enough. Goodness. She's gone. My daughter ran away. Sandy, let me help you.
I said I can do this. Are you deaf or what?
Wait, where are you going?
Get out of my way.
Tell me.
I said get out of my way. I'm telling you that I want you to make me the happiest man in the world. Will you marry me? Lying heart.
Sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Welcome back. Now let's proceed. A section of leaders from the insecurity-prone North Rift region has faulted the government's decision to merge examination centres, citing security concerns for learners. They say it would be reckless to subject children, majority of whom will now have to walk several kilometres to the nearest exam centres without security guaranteed. They want the government to reconsider its decision. Purity Museo has more details.
The directive by the Minister of Education to merge examination centres in bandit-infested areas of the North Rift region with fewer than 30 candidates has sparked a row. Leaders drawn from the region are concerned about the security of children who will now have to walk several kilometres to exam centres.
Every school katika sehemu hii ambaye ni wafugaji sio karibu. Mashule ingine ni karibu 10-20 km. Sasa mwanafunzi atakutaja asubuhi into a new environment, labda hata hii shule wanaenda kufanyia mtihani, hawana desk, hawana revision materials. Does it mean therefore for Makoa hii shule ya MT watachukua workers mpaka Barwesi?
Serikali inaposema mark the schools for exam, it is not possible for the people of Baringo County and especially Batabwa Ward and Muchongoi Ward. It is not possible. Because even the schools to do the matching are no longer schools. They have been left. So where are our children going to be matching to do exams?
The leaders want the government to reconsider its decision and allow learners in the area to sit for the exams in the nearest exam centres.
I want, therefore, to use this occasion to continue urging the government to ensure that they facilitate the sitting of exams for our KCPE, KCSE in the affected schools.
Sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Welcome back. Now let's proceed. A section of leaders from the insecurity-prone North Rift region has faulted the government's decision to merge examination centres, citing security concerns for learners. They say it would be reckless to subject children, majority of whom will now have to walk several kilometres to the nearest exam centres without security guaranteed. They want the government to reconsider its decision. Purity Museo has more details.
The directive by the Minister of Education to merge examination centres in bandit-infested areas of the North Rift region with fewer than 30 candidates has sparked a row. Leaders drawn from the region are concerned about the security of children who will now have to walk several kilometres to exam centres.
Every school katika sehemu hii ambaye ni wafugaji sio karibu. Mashule ingine ni karibu 10-20 km. Sasa mwanafunzi atakutaja asubuhi into a new environment, labda hata hii shule wanaenda kufanyia mtihani, hawana desk, hawana revision materials. Does it mean therefore for Makoa hii shule haimiti watachukua workers mpaka Barwesi?
Serikali inaposema mark the schools for exam, it is not possible for the people of Baringo County and especially Pataba Ward and Mochongoi Ward. It is not possible. Because even the schools to do the matching are no longer schools. They have been left. So where are our children going to be matching to do exams?
The leaders want the government to reconsider its decision and allow learners in the area to sit for the exams in the nearest exam centres.
I want, therefore, to use this occasion to continue urging the government to ensure that they facilitate the sitting of exams for our KCPE, KCSE in the affected schools. Katika county yetu.
Makoa and the security of this country should reconsider this, especially in those insecurity areas. Tot, Kinyach, Kagir, all the way mpaka Muchongoi. It is not possible. Hata kusafirisha hawa watoto kwa njia waende kwa hiyo shule ingine bado ni hatari.
In accordance with the directive, candidates from over 200 primary and secondary schools will take their national examinations in the neighbouring schools. The new regulation was implemented after the High Court upheld the Kenya National Examination Council's NEC decision to merge the centres in order to improve security and address transportation issues. Purity Museo, Lunchtime News.
Now moving on from matters education, a 31-year-old man from Dandora Phase 4 has died after being electrocuted while conducting an illegal power connection. Duncan Okech is said to have been contracted by a client to repair the electricity before meeting his death. Area residents say that he had been warned on several occasions, including by the area chief.
Residents of Dandora Phase 4 in Nairobi are yet to come to terms with the incident where a 31-year-old man, Duncan Okech, was electrocuted while attempting to repair power line. They watched in disbelief as his body was lowered from the electricity pole, which he had attempted to fix before the fatal incident. Okech is said to have been contracted to repair power by a client who is said to have promised to pay him 800 shillings.
Ni sound engineer ya Jakadala pale, na pia kuna mapikipiki zake anaendesha. Maneno ya stima sikujua kama anahusika na stima, but nimestuka sana.
As much as tunasema ni mwizi wa stima, si mwizi. Aliitwa kazi. Si huyu peke yake ako na hizi climbers na ndio fundi wa stima. Fundi wa stima tuko nao wengi hapa Dandora. Tusifichane. Na huyu imekuwa mbaya na amekufa na ameacha watoto, mke, familia, na si mwizi huyu, msimuite mwizi. Alikuwa kazini.
lakini shida inaleta hizi ni landlord anajenga nyumba na acha hapo, ati wewe unakuja unalipa rent, steam unalipa kando. Hiyo ndio kitu inafanyika hapa.
The area residents decrying high cost of power is one of the catalysts to such risky connections that have become common in the informal settlements.
Kijana kama mimi itabidi nitafute njia yote ya kukula, kwa sababu kama steam yenyewe unit moja ulikuwa unalipa 100 unapewa unit kama 15. Sasa hiyo unalipa 100 unapewa unit 3. Hiyo ni kama kuumiza raia.
Because pia hata steam ikikatika response yao inakuwa very low. Ndio maana inafanya vitu kama hizo zinafanyika. Unapata vijana sasa wanaamua kujiingiza kwa vitu ambavyo hawajasomea ili wajitafutie kurudisha stima.
Vijana wana kazi. So vijana kama wana kazi wanajaribu vile wanaweza pata kazi na wanapata ni hii. But serikali pia wasaidie vijana angalau wapate penye wanaweza shikilia kuliko hiyo.
With this not being the first such death, area residents have been urged to desist from such ventures, even as police launch investigations into the illegal power syndicate business. Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
And now, in the business world, rising global fertilizer prices has turned the pressure on farmers ahead of the planting season. This is because high energy costs and tight supplies around the world has led to high costs of products. Some residents of Trans Nzoia County have called on the government to subsidize the cost of fertilizer and other farm inputs to cushion them from high cost of production.
According to the World Bank's latest fertilizer price index report, high energy costs and tight supplies by the largest producers countries like China have pushed up the price of the commodity. The landed cost for a ton of fertilizer has increased to about 32,000 shillings as compared to 28,950 shillings last year, complicating matters for farmers who are in urgent need of the farm input. The country requires about 650,000 tons of fertilizer annually. Farmers are hoping the e-voucher system to be issued through registered cooperatives for small-scale farmers would avail to them the subsidy. Farmers in Trans Nzoia County are calling on the government to review the cost of farm inputs to caution them from the hard economic times.
Inafaa irudishe bei ya fertilizer chini ndio iwe affordable kwa wakulima ambao ni wako na hali duni, na vile vile pia wahakikishe bei ya mahindi na bei ya mazao ingine imepandishwa, ndio sasa wakulima wakivuna wanakuwa na hiari na wanakuwa na moyo, wanakuwa motivated.
The farmers say some of them might be forced to plant crops with inadequate or no fertilizer that could compromise food production. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Kenya is among 25 countries set to benefit from the EcoFish program that is aimed at mainstreaming the blue economy. The program targets, among others, assess the weaknesses and gaps in fisheries data collection and management, as well as assess capacity needs and gaps. Fisheries Director Roderick Kundu says challenges accessing timely and accurate data on the blue economy resources is an impediment to exploiting the resources.
Blue Economy Fisheries Satellite Account, it is a blue economy toolkit that is going to improve on data capture and analysis so that we get the real-time results so that the information is used for policy and management measures.
We've actually been thinking that talking about regional integration without developing the blue economy is actually underestimating the developmental impact of regional integration, particularly for countries that have oceans, lake resources, and COMESA does have a number of countries that have coastlines and inland lake resources. So we think that developing the blue economy is actually critical.
Foodstuff prices are expected to stabilize in the two first quarters of this year due to good rainfall that is expected to last until June this year. Kenya Meteorological Department says the expected rains in some parts of the country will help improve food production in the country. Kenyans have been complaining about the rising cost of goods in the country, which has seen the cost of various food commodities jump to record levels.
Though inflation is to a 12-month low of 5.39% last year, Kenyans are still grappling with high prices of commodities, especially food and beverages that rose by 8.8%. Besides expensive global food prices due to a broken supply chain occasioned by measures instituted to curb the spread of COVID-19, failed short rains in most parts of the country last year worsened the situation. However, the Meteorological Department predicts above average rainfall in the country's traditional food basket regions that might stabilize food prices. The weatherman says the current rains experienced in western region and parts of the east of the Rift Valley will continue to June. Long rains are expected to start in some parts of central Kenya in the fourth week of March and will last up to May. However, livestock products will still remain high as the predominant pastoralist regions will have near average and poor rainfall distribution. The weatherman warns that the degraded pasture due to the prolonged drought after failed short rains last year will take time to regenerate. This comes as livestock farmers have been grappling with high animal feed prices that have escalated the cost of production. In an attempt to lower the animal feed costs, the government allowed importation of non-GMO yellow maize. Depleted animal fodder has seen animal feed skyrocket over the past few months, with a 50 kg bag of most feeds retailing at an average of 3,000 shillings from an average of 1,700 shillings at the start of 2021, as millers grapple with scarce raw materials. Benson Roba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Britain plans to boost investments in renewable and climate change projects in Nigeria and will provide £10 million of support, Minister for Africa Vicky Ford said on her first trip to the country. Power demand in Nigeria vastly outstrips supply, where millions of Nigerians must either go without or rely on expensive generators.
Nigeria has the capacity to produce an estimated 7,000 megawatts of power, but due to weak infrastructure, gas supply problems and water shortages, only a little more than half of that reached the national grid. Ford said the financing invested alongside Nigerian credit guarantee firm InfraCredit will help mobilize domestic pension and insurance investments and reduce the risk for projects targeting off-grid and low-carbon ventures. The Nigerian Sovereign Fund, co-investor in InfraCredit, aims to deliver up to 250 to 500 megawatts of renewable energy capacity in Nigeria, it said in a statement. Nigeria has more than 12 trillion naira of institutional funding held in pensions, insurance and wealth funds, mostly invested in government securities or sometimes in Nigerian shares. As the world looks to transition to clean energy, Ford said the British financing will help expand opportunities for the private sector and provide affordable long-term financing from local investors to off-grid and low-carbon projects. Meanwhile, the South African rand was relatively steady on Monday, despite global markets being shaken by increased political squabbles rocking Europe and Russia. The rand has been resilient in the past few weeks despite concerns over the Ukraine situation, with high real domestic yields, strong terms of trade and fresh reform pledges from President Cyril Ramaphosa in its favour. On Wednesday, South Africa's Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will present the 2022 budget, where investors will be hoping for reassuring signs on the debt trajectory after the National Treasury pledged to cut the budget deficit in a November midterm budget. Finally, First Abu Dhabi Bank has made an offer to buy a controlling stake in Egypt's biggest investment bank, EFG Hermes, that values the North African lender at 18.5 billion Egyptian pounds, the two banks said. If successful, the deal will give the UAE's biggest lender access to the Egyptian investment bank's strong franchise in the Middle East and North Africa region. It will also be FAB's second major.
The former champions are currently training at the Pipeline base under the watchful eye of Paul Gitau.
Kenya Pipeline will be aiming to put a brave fight this season after failing the case to bag the league title in the last 3 seasons.
My work now, I want these people to understand their role and what I am expecting to do at the different situations. Different situations meaning we rotate. You come from one position to another. When you go to the next position, what are you supposed to know?
Gitau urged his players to uphold high levels of discipline as it is key in their pursuit for better results.
I don't know my opponent, but what I say, I am preparing and I'm coming. I am preparing and I'm ready to face the team. And I also, that is what they are saying, that they are preparing and they are ready to face any team. Perhaps they will face me, perhaps I'll face them.
Team captain Rosso Diambo was quick to note that they will be targeting more trophies this season.
For the new assigned players, the senior most players, I think they are now cooperating with the one who are younger, and we are gelling well, and I'm sure as we go on, those who are young will just play well for they are now following the senior ones.
Pipeline has been boosted by the arrival of KCB duo Noel Murambi and Violet Makuto, as well as former DCI players Veronica Adhiambo and Caroline Sirengo. Daniel Mwendwa, Sports.
Over 100 lady caddies took part in this year's Caddies Golf Tournament held at the Limuru Golf Course, having made a return after